Welcome back to my channel, Licensed Immigration. Today I will be talking about the Form I-751, Petition to Remove Conditions on Residence Part 1. Before starting, I'm going to answer the question that some of my subscribers had asked, and maybe you as well have. What is the purpose of I-751? Petition to Remove Conditions on Residence. This petition is used by conditional residents who obtain status through marriage to request that U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services remove the condition on her or on his residence. Who may file Form I-751? If you were granted conditional residence status through marriage to a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident, use Form I-751. Petition to remove conditions on residence to file for the removal of those conditions. If you have dependent children who acquire conditional residence status on the same day as you or within 90 days thereafter, then include the names and alien registration numbers, A/numbers, or as we call it, alien numbers, of these children in the Part 5 of the form. I-751 in order to request that conditions on their status be removed as well. If you had dependent children who did not acquire conditional residence status on the same day as you or within 90 days thereafter, or if the conditional resident parent is deceased, then those dependent children must each file Form I-751 separately to have the conditions on their status removed. Parent is deceased, then those dependent children must each file Form I-751 separately to have the conditions on their status removed. If you are still married, then file Form I-751 jointly with your spouse through whom you obtain conditional status. However, you may file Form I-751 without your spouse if, number 1, you enter the marriage in good faith, but your spouse died. 2, if you enter in the marriage in good faith, but the marriage was later terminated due to the divorce or annulment. 3, you enter the marriage in good faith, but you have bothered or subject to extreme cruelty by your petitioner spouse. Let's say domestic violence. Your conditional resident parent entered the marriage in good faith, but you have battered or subject extreme cruelty by your parent. Also apply for parent, U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse, or by conditional resident parent. The termination of your status and removal from the United States will result in extreme hardship. When should you file for I-751? Filing jointly. If you file this petition jointly with your spouse, you must file it during the 90-day period immediately before the conditional residence expires. Filing with a request that joint filing requirement be waived or individual filed. You may file the Form I-751 without your spouse if they are deceased, or you are divorced, or your conditional residence child were battered or subjected to extreme cruelty. You may file this petition at any time if you are granted conditional residence status and before you are removed from the United States. Effect or not filing. If this petition is not filed, you will be automatically lose your permanent residence status 2 years from the date on which you were granted conditional status. You will then become removable from the United States, or like we say, deported. Something really important that I would like you guys to know is if you that you file this form was truly it's not your fault that you didn't file on time, you may file the petition late with a written explanation and request that USCIS excuse the late filing Failure to file before the expiration date may be excused if you demonstrate when you file a petition that it was delayed due to extraordinary circumstances beyond control and the length of the delay was reasonable. Sorry for the mistake. So let's say for now the COVID-19 is a really circumstance that you filed 90 days, but due to all some UCIS offices are closed now. Some of them are open, but mostly are closed. So this is one of the reasons that is a circumstance that is real, that it can be used. The filing fee is $595. All Form I-751 petition also require an $85 biometric service fee. So it will be $595 plus $85. You could do it in one money order or check, or you could do it separately, but it's better off doing it together. And you may pay this fee with money order, like I said before, a personal check or a cashier check. When you file a UCIS lockbox facility, you may also pay by credit card using Form G1450, authorization for credit card transactions. If you pay by check, you must make it payable to U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Please know that service centers are not able to process credit card payments. And when you send a payment, you agree to pay for a government service fee and a service. Filing and biometric service fee are final and non-refundable, so they will not refund your money back, even if the case is denied. And let's say they did not receive the form, they will still not refund your money. It could be that it haven't been accepted or you have missing evidence. They're still not going to refund your fee. So guys, remember to subscribe, turn on notification bell, like, comment below, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for the support and have a blessed day. Please stay safe. Welcome back to my channel, Licensed Immigration. Today I will be talking about Petition to Remove Conditions of Residence Part 2, Form I-751. Before starting, I'm going to talk about what you should know before we start filling out this form. As you can see on Part 1, as I already started talking about this form, I answered some of the questions that subscriber had, and I tried to respond mostly all of it. And if you have any questions, you don't hesitate to comment below. So before starting, we're going to talk about the evidence that must be submitted with this form. I'm going to give you some ideas. If you're filing a joint petition, did you provide the following? That is the question that you must ask yourself before submitting the form. Is not only you need to submit the form filled in, but also you must submit evidence, which is the most important part of this petition. You must submit copies of front and back of your permanent resident card, copies of front and back of the permanent resident card of any conditional residence children you are including in your petition if it's applicable. Evidence of relationship. Submit copies of documents indicating that the marriage upon whom you were granted status was not for the purpose of circumventing immigration laws. Submit copies as many documents as you can to establish the fact to demonstrate the circumstances of the relationship from date of the marriage to the present day. An explanation, if you are filing late, must be submitted if it's your case. An explanation for the reason you're filing separately from your primary conditional permanent resident parent, if it's applicable. Disposition of criminal charges, arrest, or conviction, if it's applicable. If you're filing from overseas, 2 passport styles, photograph for each petitioner and dependent, regardless of age. Two completed Form FD-258 fingerprint cards for each petition and dependent 14 to 79 years of age. A copy of current military or government orders filing based on military government service. If you're filing an individual request because of the death of your petition spouse, you must submit what I already said before, but with this, you must submit a death certificate. If you're filing for a waiver of the joint filing requirement due to termination of marriage or then through death of petition spouse, then you provide the following: the final divorce or annulment decree, evidence demonstrating any circumstances surrounding the end of the relationship, an explanation for the reason that you're filing separately from your primary conditional parent. That's what I said before. So you include that plus already what I said before. If you're filing for a waiver of joint filing requirement, conditional child were battered or subject to extreme cruelty, do you provide the following? With respect to abuse waivers, you may file your form with any credible evidence relevant to the application. The determination of what evidence is credible is a way to be given solely to USCIS. And you must submit evidence of an abuse. If you're filing a waiver jointly because of termination of status and removal will result in extreme hardship, you also must provide what I said before. But now you have to include evidence of extreme hardship. So this form expires 12/2/2019. They will publish a new version of this form very soon. In the meantime, you may still use this form edition to fill out the petition. Any questions that you guys have, please, like I said before, don't hesitate to comment below. I will answer them in order that it comes in. So now we're going to start filling out the form. I will try to explain this best as possible. So I hope you guys will understand while I'm filing this form. And like I said, comment. Also guys, always remember to view the full video for you to have a better understanding. Always try to watch all the parts of the form that I do of the video. Also guys, I have a Facebook account with the same name on my YouTube channel. You could go follow me in that Facebook. Also, always remember to subscribe and to like and comment below. Also, turn on the notification bell to receive notifications when I upload new videos. So now we're going to continue, or like I said, start filling out the form. So I'm going to go up. So in part 1, we're going to go here. Information about you. It's a section that asks for basic biographical information. That is your information, your personal information. Remember guys, if you're going to type or print in black ink, and if you type and sometimes the form doesn't let you fill in some spaces in blank, you may use black ink as well. Be aware the example I'm using is not a real person information, so don't think I'm using people's information. It's just an example. I'm trying to help you guys fill in the form. Other names used. List of other names you have ever used, including aliases, maiden name, and nicknames. If this is applicable for you, please fill this in. Date of birth. Country of birth. Country of citizenship and nationality. Provide all that apply. Alien registration number, if any. U.S. Social Security, if any. If you have a UCIS online account number, provided here, if it's applicable to you. Be aware the UCIS online account number is not an alien number. It's a number you were given if you filed on an application you in the website or UCIS electronically called UCIS Ellis. If you don't have one, it's okay. Leave it blank. Marital status. Date of marriage. Let me fill in. In question 12, as you can see, it's asking for place of marriage. So this means you must enter city, state, if it's in the U.S., and country is outside the U.S. So don't type the building or other location. If the marriage through which you gain conditional residence has ended, provide the date it ended. So this is just it applies to you if it's in your case. Date of birth. Date of birth. Sorry, date of divorce or date of death. So this is your case. You will provide that information there. Conditional residence expires on. So this question 14 is when your conditional residence expires. It's on your green card. If 2 years after you initially were approved for or received your permanent residence. So we continue to fill in the part 1. Now we're in the second page. Mailing address. So you will put the care of name if it applies to you, street number, apartment suite floor, city or town, state, and zip code. Remember, when it's state, you must scroll down to select the state. So as you can see, It is not letting me fill out the apartment number, so when I print out the form, I will use black ink to fill it this blank. Is your physical address just different than your mailing address? Yes or no? If it is, you must fill out the item 17 through 17F. For question number 18, additional information about you. You'll probably know if you are in a removal, deportation, or rescission proceeding. You'll be in a situation that you have been convicted crime or given UCI as a reason to believe that your marriage is fraudulent or done something else to make you deportable from the United States. If you are an immigration court proceeding, you should already have a lawyer, so who should help you with a petition as well. So if this is your case, don't fill out the form. You must have a lawyer. Are you in a removal, deportation, or rescission proceeding? Yes or no? In question 19, about whether a fee was paid to anyone other than an attorney in connection with this petition, you have not necessarily done anything wrong, but you might be questioned about it. If the person you pay helped you prepare the I-751, that person needs to provide information and sign in Part 10. So the question is, was a fee paid to anyone other than an attorney in connection with this petition? Yes or no? Question 20. It's going to ask you about criminal activity. The second part of that question asks you whether you have committed a crime for which you could have been arrested but weren't. Don't be too quick to say yes. Do you really have that necessary legal knowledge to say that what you did is a crime? Talk to a lawyer who specializes in criminal law where the incident occurred. So the question number 20 is, have you ever been arrested, detained, charged, indicted, fined, or imprisoned for breaking or violating any law or ordinance excluding traffic regulations, or committed any crime which you were not arrested in the United States or abroad? Yes or no? If you answer yes to the item number 20, provide a detailed explanation in Part 11. Additional information. Part 11 is additional information is where they give you more space to give explanation, or you have to extend your answer. Or you could do it in a separate sheet of paper and refer that to the what initial evidence is required section of the Form I-751, instructions to determine what criminal history document to include with your petition. Question 21. If you are married, if there's a different marriage than the one through which you gain conditional residence, yes or no? Have you resided any other address since you became a permanent resident, yes or no? If you answer yes to item number 22, provide a list of all addresses where you resided since becoming a permanent resident and dates that you resided at those locations in the space provided in Part 11. Additional information. Question 23. If your spouse or parent spouse currently serving with you, with or employed by U.S. government serving the United States, yes or no? So guys, remember to subscribe, turn on notification bell, like, comment below, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for the support and have a blessed day. Welcome back to my channel, Licensed Immigration. Today I want to be continuing talking about and filling out the form with you guys. Petition to remove condition of residence, Part 3, Form I-751. So let's continue filling out this form. As you already see, I already done Part 1 and Part 2. Please go and see those videos to have a better understanding of this form. Part 2, biographic information. So this is talking about your ethnicity. Hispanic or not Hispanic. Race, select what is applicable to you. Height, for this question you must scroll down. Eye color, select what it applies to you. Hair color as well. So now we're going to continue the third page. So in Part 3, basis is for petition. If you're still married and the U.S. spouse is cooperating with the process of applying for you, permanent resident, remember to put an X on box 1A and do not check any other box in this part, okay? So I'm gonna read the question. I already explained it, so I'm gonna read it for you. Part 3, basis for petition, joint filing. My conditional residence is based on my marriage or my parents' marriage to the U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. And I'm filing this joint petitions together with, select only one that applies. So I click my spouse. That's the first option in 1A, and 1B, my parent's spouse, because I'm unable to include it in a joint petition filed by my parent and my parent's spouse. So select the one that applies to you. Waiver or individual filing request. My conditional residence is based on my marriage or my parents' marriage to a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. I'm unable to file a joint petition with my spouse or parent's spouse because if this applies to you, you must fill this in. Okay? Part 4, information about the U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse. If filing as a child separately, information about the U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident, step-parent through whom you gain your conditional residence. Relationship, spouse or former spouse, parent spouse or former spouse. So in this Part 4, this is meant to be the person who helped the immigrant obtain U.S. conditional residence. Italy, the address will be the same as the immigrant if you're filing jointly, and those need to prove ongoing bona fide marriage. So we're gonna ask you, like I said, in this part. So other information. It went somewhere else. Guys, don't hesitate if you have a question or any comments on behalf of this form. It will be my pleasure on answering all your questions or comments, so just do that. Now is his physical address. As you can see in the apartment number, it isn't gonna let me fill in. So when I print this out, I will use black ink to fill that blank. Also, guys, be aware that I have a Facebook. It's under the same name as my YouTube. So go follow me. I also upload videos in that social media account. And also, you guys could write to me, and I will respond if I am connected. If anything, I'm not connected, you still could send me a message, and I will respond quickly. Part 5, information about your children. If you have any, if it applies to you, that means did the child get a 2-year conditional green card at the same or within 90 days of when you did, based on being a child? If you so, it's important to check yes box in the box. The way your child will need to fill on his own. So part 5, information about your children. Provide information on all of your children. If you need extra space to complete this section, use the space provided in part 11, additional information. Is the child living with you, and is the child applies in with you? So it continues the information about children. So it's gonna ask where your children is living in. So like I said before, in the apartment number, it's not letting me fill this in with typing. So I must print it out with black ink. see the address that I put before. Okay. So you have additional children, you must include them. Part 6, Accommodation for individual with disability and or impairment. If you're requesting accommodation at your enter because of disability or impairment, such as needing to bring along a sign language interpreter, explain here. So, note, read the information in the Form I-751 instruction before completing this part. Are you requesting an accommodation because of your disability and or impairments? Yes or no? Are you requesting an accommodation because of spouse disability and or impairments? Are you requesting accommodation because of including children with disability and or impairments? So if it applies to you, you'll fill this in. Part 7. Petitioner statement, contact information, acknowledgement or appointment at UCIS application support certification and signature. There's important information for you. The petitioner conditional resident to read here before signing. Provide accurate contact information in case of UCIS need to follow up. Some of questions asked about anyone who served as an interpreter and otherwise helped you prepare the I-751 and whether the preparer was an attorney or not. Such people will need to fill out this section as well. Make sure you type or write your name in the box in the section containing the acknowledgement appointment at UCIS Application Support Center. So note, read the information on penalties in the penalty section on the Form I-751. Instructions before completing this part. Note, if you're selected bus 1A in Part 3, your spouse must also read and sign the petition in Part 3A. Signatures of conditional resident children under 14 years of age is not required. A parent may sign for a child. Petitioner statement. So I'm going to select this one. I can read and understand English, and I have read and understand every question and instruction on this petition as well as my answers to every question. I have read and understand acknowledgement of appointment at UCIS Application Support Center. And this is that applies to you. I'm not going to read this already because I already explained. So he's going to let me fill it in, but I must put the name here of the petitioner. It must go here. So I must write it black ink because it's not letting me type. And this is certification that you must read. Your signature goes here, so must do it with black ink. And date of a signature must be provided here. Part A, spouse or individual listed in Part 4. Statement, contact information, acknowledgement of appointment, UCIS Application Support Center, certification and signature is applicable. Provide the following information about their spouse or individual listed Part 4. Note, read the information on penalties in the penalties section on the Form I-751. Instruction before completing this part. So this is where your immigrating spouse signs. This person also has to type or write his or her name in the box in the section containing the acknowledgement of appointment at Uscis Application Center. So the rest is applies to you. Okay. Spouse or individual contact information. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. Sorry, I was gonna view if I did correct the number. Wait. Sorry, guys. I wanna make sure. Okay. So here's gonna be the same number as the other person. Okay. Because they don't have another number. They're gonna be the same address and mailing address. So here we're gonna be the spouse name, but it's gonna let me in, so I will do it like in black ink. Date of signature. And now part 9, interpreter, contact information, certification, and signature. So in part 9 and part 10, let me show you part 10 here. These are for your interpreter, if you need one, and the person who helped you fill out the I-751, such as attorney, if you will use one. Guys, remember to subscribe, turn on notification bell to receive notifications when I upload new video. Thank you for the support. Have a blessed day and please stay safe. Welcome back to my channel, Licensed Immigration. Today we'll be talking about Petition to Remove Conditions on Residence Part 4, Form I-751. We have already completed the form. If you want to see how I fill out the form, go see Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. I gave you some explanation in the previous part about this form. So now that we completed the form, in this video, I'm going to speak about the important information that you must know after completing this form. After completing this form, the I-751, when you and your spouse are finished preparing the joint petition, make a complete copy for your files. So make a copy, scan it, have extra, what you send to them, have it in a folder. Then send the forms and other required documents to Uscis at the address on I-751 webpage. Using a courier service or certified mail, we will receive requested is highly recommended. Uscis receive a huge volume of mail, and if your application gets lost, your proof of mailing will help convince the agency to look for the petition and not penalizing you for filing days. So use a return receipt. You already filed the Form I-751, Petition to Remove Conditional Residence. Naturally, you're curious to know what happens after filing I-751 and how long it will take to get your new 10-year green card. Although the steps to remove conditions on your green card are fairly consistent, the I-751 processing time can vary based on UCIS case law. The UCIS office where you filed and your ability to accurately prepare Form I-751 without errors or omissions. So, receipt of application. It takes approximately 4 to 6 weeks after you file. If your Form I-751 petition to remove conditional residence has been properly filed, the UCIS will initially respond by your mailing a letter that confirms receipt of your petition. The receipt letter is formally known as Form I-797, Notice of Action, and arrives approximately 4 to 6 weeks after filing. This I-797C will also extend your conditional residence for an additional 18 months while UCIS review your case. To prove the conditional residence status, you need to carry your expired green card and the receipt letter. If your Form I-751 has not properly filed, UCIS may send you notice of action to reject the petition or may send you a request for evidence that to send additional items. Either will significantly delay your request, so it's important to prepare the I-751 petition correctly. So please, guys, watch my video fully for you to have a better understanding of this form and do what already I've provided information. So you just have to view the full video. So it's important to prepare the I-751 petition correctly and submit all required documents according to the filing instruction. So I'm going to give you a tip. Save this important letter, the I-797C receipt. It contains your 10-digit receipt number. So you can use this receipt number to go to the UCIS.gov and check your status. Also, if you guys don't know how to check your status at UCIS.gov, go to my channel and look up that video. I have already uploaded a video showing how to check your case status. If you didn't receive a notice of action, you can make a case inquiry. Appointment notice for biometric. Approximately, it takes 6 to 8 weeks after the filing. Next, you will receive an appointment notice that signs your biometric appointment date, time, and location. The location will generally be at the UCIS Application Support Center nearest you. UCIS requires applicants to be fingerprinted for the purpose of conducting a security clearance and criminal background check. Don't be alarmed. All applicants must have background checks. Tip: generally, it's best to show up only on your scheduled appointment and day and time, so don't go before. But if you need to travel abroad before a scheduled UCIS biometric appointment or before the appointment has been scheduled, it may be possible to attend to your biometric screening early. The biometric appointment, approximately 7 to 10 weeks after filing. The biometric appointment, also known as biometric screening, is generally a short appointment. It approximately takes 30 minutes. So UCIS can collect your fingerprints, photographs, and signature. Your appointment notice will tell you need to take to the appointment. Expect to take some form photo identification to enter the building. If you don't have a green card, UCIS can accept other government-issued photo ID documents such as passport or national photo identification issued by your country, a driver license, or military photo identification, state-issued photo identification card. Request for evidence. Approximately 2 to 10 months after filing, if you have filed a complete petition, adequate evidence to prove a bona fide merit, it's unlikely that you will receive a request of evidence. However, petitions that have not provided sufficient evidence will receive this request in the mail. It's important to the letter with a request of evidence and send what they're asking in a required time frame. So I'm going to give you another tip. Provide a bona fide faith merit is a crucial part of filing successful I-751 petition to remove a condition on green card. If you're filing with a waiver, avoid a request for evidence by filing a complete I-751 packet with throughout supporting evidence. Like I said, guys, view my video fully for this not happen to you. Interview appointment notice is approximately 8 to 12 months after filing. This is a requisite UCIS interview after filing Form I-751, but UCIS may waive the I-751 interview if you're lucky. For jointly filed I-751 with strong evidence as good faith bona fide marriage. Those many well-prepared joint petitioners will never be called to an interview. This is an important reason to file a complete and well-prepared I-751 package. A tip. If you're scheduled for an I-751 interview, it's very important that you attend it. Failure to attend the interview may result in termination on the conditional residence status and the commencement of removal, like deportation proceedings. Receive your 10-year green card. So this is the exciting part. Approximately 12 to 18 months after filing, after USCIS have fully reviewed your petition, make the decision, your petition may be approved. If your petition is approved, which I'm going to congratulate you guys, your green card will be mailed to you. If your petition is denied, unfortunately, USCIS will mail you a notice explaining the reason for denial. Tip. If you're moving, you must notify USCIS within the 10 days of your relocation by filing Form AR11 and then change of address. So in my channel, I also have this video how to fill out the AR11. Go watch it. After filing the I-751 petition to remove conditions on your green card, the I-751 processing time takes, like I said before, 12 to 18 months. Approximately, maybe longer now because the pandemic has all the petition delayed. All the cases are delayed. So don't worry, guys. It's just a delay. It may be shorter than longer than others, okay? In some cases, USCIS will may request additional information or schedule an interview. Don't forget, you can check your case status online with your receipt number. The USCIS will also list normal proceeding times in their website. If you believe that your case is outside of the normal proceeding time, you may contact them at the case inquiry. I also have a video in which explains how to check your status, like I said before, online. Don't hesitate to comment, okay, guys, of any questions that you guys have me filing. And thank you, okay, sticking through with me filling out this form. So guys, remember to subscribe, turn on notification bell, like, comment below, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for the support and have a blessed day, and please stay safe.